Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Doc Lightning Film Festival from MinnMax. MinnMax is a place about games, friends, and getting better, and all the stars are out today, baby. I'm Ben Hanson. Thank you for being here. I'm joined by one Leo Vader.
It's Hollywood's biggest night.
That's right. Also joined by Jacob Geller.
It's a pleasure, I'm sure.
Hey, this is something different. This is a bona fide film festival showing off these short documentaries that the MinnMax community has created this month. At the start of the month, you might have seen this and you might have ignored it, and we're not going to hold it against you, but at the start of the month, we said, hey, everybody, what if you made a documentary, a short documentary? You don't need to know anything about making documentaries. You can be a complete amateur. You can make it with your phone, make it about whatever the heck you want, and it just has to be under 3 minutes. And it has to highlight humanity in some way. That's the overall pitch. Do whatever you want. That was at the start of May. Now, start of June, people have submitted their entries for the whole Doc Lightning Film Festival. The sweet part is there's a Discord channel where everybody was helping each other, learn things, tossing notes back and forth. Jacob Geller, how many people do you think submitted a short documentary for the film festival here today that we're gathered for?
Surely not more than 7.
7? Genuinely, my guess was 5. Leo, what do you think?
I was told, so I'm going to guess 23.
You're wrong. The answer was 31. They kept coming in.
I was lied to.
It is such a sweet idea of just tossing this idea and challenge out there, and then 31 people went through with it, made something, went outside of their comfort zones in many places. So to all those people, we thank thee. We're going to celebrate thee tonight. Also, you all won a game code. I'll be messaging you after the stream. You get your pick of the litter from a ton of game codes, so congratulations for contributing for Doc Lightning here. Couple notes before we kick this real film festival off and jump into the whole thing. Number 1, MinnMax doesn't own these documentaries in any way. We claim no right over them, so don't think that you can't post it elsewhere. Do whatever you want. If you made a documentary, share it however you want, make an extended version of it. It's all yours, baby. We're just here to celebrate you for doing that work. And also, thank you to everybody who is doing this. If you like this stream, if you like this event, if you like this community, you can help support it directly at Patreon, patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's. Which stars are you excited to see tonight, Jacob Geller?
I'm excited to see the stars of Minneapolis, I hope, or the local Minnesota area. I want to get the Min and MinnMax.
Yeah, I think I saw one person who I know lives in Minnesota. They submitted one. I haven't seen any of these. I've seen the headlines because I clicked the YouTube video to make sure that it was an unlisted video and all that stuff. But Leo, what are you hoping to see tonight, baby?
Action. High-octane, high-budget action sequences.
If it's not that, Leo is going to be booing the screen. I hope you're all ready.
Well, and Ben, you've also made one, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we don't know what it is, or at least I don't. Leo apparently has all the answers.
No one knows what it is. I don't know.
It's John Wick 5.
Is this the humble or the confident move? I saved it for the end. Jacob, is that the cool guy move, or what do you make of that assessment?
Look, that's your right.
Okay, Leo winced. I saw it. I was going to shuffle it, but then I was like, you know what? I want to post it standalone, so I might as well bury it in this thing. So that'll be coming at the end of this whole thing. All right, all these documentaries are under 3 minutes, so we should probably get this show on the road. Everybody feeling ready?
Let's do it.
Sir.
Okay, don't mind this. This happens at most film festivals where they stop the WAV file and then they pull up a VLC file.
Piano player is shot.
All right, we can pause it in between all of these. I've randomized everybody's submissions, so don't read too much into what's happening here, but I think it's starting out with, would you like these from the, well, let's just jump in, huh? We don't need to give the names before. We can do it after, right? All right, here we go, everybody. The documentaries made by the MinnMax community for Doc Lightning 2023.
I'm Brian Schmidt, and I probably was best considered like the lead composer, sound designer on Black Knight 2000. You know, Ed Boon, who went on to create Mortal Kombat, was the programmer. That was the last pinball machine he did before he created Mortal Kombat. Steve Ritchie is also a musician. He's a guitar player. But obviously I did the bass line. That's kind of my thing. Steve knew he wanted a choir of heavenly angels in the game. But that's about as far as the direction went for that.
Iconic.
Ed Boon and I started about the same time at Williams, and we actually got to be pretty good friends. He ended up being my best man.
Yeah.
And so it was a very collaborative effort amongst multiple people. When we were working on pinball games, typically there'd be a programmer assigned, an audio person assigned, an artist, playfield, and so on. And then, of course, the voice of the Black Knight is Steve. We pitched him down, we processed him, stuff like that, but it's not just Steve's voice, it is Steve. You're playing against Steve when you're playing that game.
You got the power. You got the might.
No way.
Get ready for battle.
Give me your money.
Beat the Black Knight.
Look from front. Okay. I actually found the original sheet music for the main theme for Black Knight 2000. Somewhere I've got, here's the beginnings of the bass line down here. Da 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 da. Dan Forden wrote the multi-ball music for that game, which is one of the most amazing pieces of pinball music I've ever heard. I mean, I wish I had written it. It's so good. For me, that game is real special too, because one of the games that made me a giant pinball fan, Steve did. It was the original Black Knight, which I played to death. And so for me, to be able to work on Black Knight 2000 is like, wow, this is really cool. Like, I'm not worthy. You're Steve Ritchie. I was a huge Yes fan, and so there's a little bit of Chris Squire in everything that I write, I think. So as far as like a leading bass line as almost the melody in the beginning, that's probably what that's from. I guess that's what my big influence that is. Everything I do sounds like prog rock. I guess my claim to fame after Black Knight is I did the start sound for the original Xbox. So
what?
When you power up the Xbox and it makes that kind of
Wow.
That was me. I have to admit, I really miss the days at Williams working with like Steve and DeMar and Chris Granner. I learned so much. Actually, funny, I just saw Chris Granner 2 nights ago. I was in Chicago, and he and Bill Parad were there, and the three of us were together for the first time since I think probably '88. It just feels fun to be a part of a great iconic game.
Whew! Bob Buel,
Fantastic.
ladies and gentlemen. Bob Buel. Perfect. We all love the Black Knight 2000 theme. I think it was like on a Giant Bomb they talked about a while ago. And I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
this is so good.
Wow, the guy who did the bass line did the Xbox sound, which is also awesome.
Yeah.
Which is also a standout in its field.
Unbelievable. Also, I don't know how much editing experience Bob has. Great job. That is like trapeze level editing to edit a documentary about a song as the song is playing, because that forces your hand for like, oh, okay, well, he has to talk about the angelic stuff, has to talk about the bass line, has to talk about this, has to talk about the voices. Like, that's really tricky to arrange in a way that actually flows well, too. Yeesh.
Great job.
Yeah,
Great
and just like
execution.
the perfect size.
Right.
It's like it's not about the pinball table. It's not about the whole history. Just about the song.
That's it. And man, even for my little video, I went into this like 3 minutes, no problem, that's doable. I'm like, God, 3 minutes is tough to squeeze everything into. But now looking at it, it's like, it's a good just lesson on editing. So great job, Bob, just zooming in just on this stuff in his career. Okay, that was Bob Buel, everybody. Next one, y'all ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
Great. God, those
The
sunglasses
new
are
album
good.
is called Passage, and it's a 5-movement suite. And for this one, I wrote it as kind of to follow a storyline, and it's about joining and getting out of a cult. I haven't joined a cult. It's not based on a true story. I was trying to think of an interesting story that I could have different instruments play different characters in the story. So I would write the story first, and write the different kind of ideas of what happens in this arc of this suite, and the different instruments are different characters in that story. I play the vibraphone, which is a large piano you hit with sticks. So it's like a marimba or a xylophone. So I set myself as the main character that kind of gets drawn into the cult and then gets themselves out. The other characters introduced, there's the guitarist, which is kind of like I said, I don't know from experience of a cult. But I would think that there would be like one member that you would relate to and would kind of draw you in. So the guitar in my story is that character. In the second movement, it starts with vibraphone and guitar, a duo playing together, and that's kind of like the guitarist bringing the vibraphone in to the cult. And then the rest of the instruments that are part of the cult at large join in later on in the piece. So you kind of get sucked in. So there's 5 movements. The first movement's called the meeting, and that is this introductory meeting of like, here's the cult, here's what's going on. The second one's called orientation, and that's the one that I just talked about that has the guitar and the vibraphone together. The third movement is called the cult. It's kind of like a happy, joyous piece that kind of, in my head, would be like, oh, everything's great, we're all like working a commune together or something. Then the fourth movement is called the awakening, and then the last movement is called passage, which is the name of the album as well, and that is living life after the cult. Alright, so this first movement is called the meeting, and the idea behind this one is that you've got the vibraphone protagonist who's going to get drawn into the cult, and it starts out where the vibraphone's making his message, which goes like this.
I love the vibraphone. Amazing instrument.
I don't think I've ever seen one.
And from there, we get the whole rest of the band comes in, and that's the cult, kind of like giving their message. And then it goes into a guitar kind of fill. So as we said before, the guitar is the other instrument that's going to kind of be the bridge to pull the vibraphone into the cult.
There we go. He said the word cult 3,000 times, but that's how you know that he's not in a cult, everybody. Congratulations
Definitely not.
That's right. Congratulations to Marty for making that documentary. Of all the things, I never thought somebody would make a documentary about somebody making music about being in a cult, but way to go, Marty. Way to go.
Interesting back-to-back music ones.
I know. Yeah, what are the odds of that? Very weird. I mean, maybe it's just like, well, it's fun to document creative things. That's maybe the most accessible thing. Whew. Way to go, Marty. Very proud of you. People were scared to listen to the music in the chat because they thought they were going to get sucked into the cult. Don't worry. There's no cult stuff here. We're all good.
You just have to listen to the whole album. Don't stop in the 4th passage because then you're stuck.
That's right. All right, here we go. Next one. And hitting play is important.
Hey, my name's Clay, and I'm here in my heart hospital to give you a rundown of what a sterile processing technician does.
Hell yeah.
So here we are in sterile storage, where the whole process begins. So on these shelves here that run the whole room, we have many different kinds of surgical instruments and sets. And then what we do is we take them and load them into these carts every night that have pull sheets for the next day's surgeries. Here's what one of them looks like when it's all filled up with sets ready to go for the next day. And then we cart them out to our OR, which we happen to be connected to, which is uncommon for sterile processing departments. Most of them are in the basements of their hospitals. So the next part of the process is the surgery, obviously. After the surgery, we start our next part as a sterile processing tech, where they'll bring the dirty carts into the decontamination room. Once we have the instruments in here, we wash them in these sinks in water and different chemicals to get off all the blood and tissue. Once we've done that, we then load them into these automatic washers that'll run a cycle with a bunch of other chemicals to give them a nice cleaning. And then it'll open up on the other side into sterile prep, where we're headed to next. And here we are coming into sterile prep. So the automatic washers would open up, instruments be put on this shelf. Once we're ready and they're cool, we take them over to one of our tables and we assemble the instruments. Once assembled, we then load them on these large carts and push them into one of these 3 sterilization machines known as autoclaves. They use a steam sterilization. It's a combination of heat and pressure to kill all the bacteria, or some instruments that use hydrogen peroxide. And then once sterilized and cooled, we then end up back where we started in sterile storage, where we would then store them on shelves so they can be prepared again for the next day's surgeries onto the carts. And it's a large cyclical process that's never ending, and that is the simplified life of a sterile processing technician. Hope you enjoyed. Here's one of our sets
Oh.
out of the wash, unassembled. It's an open heart. And here's a completed open heart. Everything is simple. Here's what it looks like to pull a fresh cookout. Nice and hot, ready to eat. Here's the last leg of our trip in high-level disinfection, where we clean scopes and probes. They stick them down your throat, and we clean them. We use those chemicals with water and those machines. Stay classy, MinnMax.
Clayton Carroll, ladies and gentlemen.
That rule. That was like how it's made. You know, where it's just like never in my life would I see those rooms, except now I have.
Yeah. And I love the idea of people probably intimidated, like, I don't know how to make a documentary. Clay's got it. Just show off some stuff. Document something is really all you need to do there. Way to go, Clay. Sweet.
A lot of Hitman body dumps in there too. Nice to see.
What time in the day do you think you recorded that at?
4:20.
4:20 in the morning. That's right. But it was like, it's so quiet. I wonder if this is like super late night hospital vibes. I don't know. Sweet. All right. Thank you so much, Clay. Great job. Great job. More docs. Woo! Yeah, baby!
Day one, both kids woke up twice, I want to say, overnight, leading to 4 hours of sleep.
You can scroll up on OBS to boost the volume.
Thank you.
More clicking than typing. Style.
I assume bringing another project is cutting off the date on the top. That's probably on me. That's probably on me. It feels like a crucial aspect. Yep.
There we go.
Ooh, Starting Valley mug.
Look out! Sweet! Way to go! That
Nice.
was Sebastian. Sebastian A. Way to go. Perfect music choice. Perfect editing to the music. You hit all the beats there for when you're typing. Way to go.
And like that weird combination of like when you're working on your passion project, it's like It's still mostly work, which isn't fun, but the kind of like upbeat background of that song is like, yeah, that's what it feels like. You know, it's like a combination of like yawning, big bags under your eyes, but also like, I'm choosing to do this.
Yeah, and that's why it's so impressive. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and I like obviously incorporating like, hey, this is the rest of my life seeping in of like the family stuff, and there's the glimpse of the daughter. I think is a nice touch. You're like, okay, just to show that this is the tip of the iceberg for my actual life, but this is why I feel it's important. Way to go, Sebastian. All right, next one. Here we go. Yep, good.
I'm 14 years old. I started the fighting game, and Street Fighter 2 X is the best game in my life. It is a mind game. This is Street Fighter 2 X, and this is Hyper Edition. Anniversary is 7 days a week, yeah, every day. I don't play 1 day in the year. Only my fighting game holiday. I am not technical player, so I am mind game player. So easy combo, for example, vampire, and the best combo is very easy. But Barret is a very difficult combo, and so I use easy character. I like, Saga.
Yeah, I know Saga.
Oh yeah.
Round one, fight! Saga is a very nice character. Saga Hadouken is a very deep and weak shot, strong shot.
What?
Tiger, and upper shot. Tiger uppercut. Down shot. Tiger. It is many kinds of the way to use. I love, shogi. Shogi is a story, and fighting game is a quick mini game, so I love it. Now I made some of the game and playing some of the game. It's my life, and in the world, very good thing, many good thing. So football and baseball and studying and loving people. It is very good, and gaming is also good, I think. Yeah.
Hell yeah, Kyle Broyles, way to go.
That is
Excellent.
All right. That's what we all have to look forward to if we get really into fighting games, is just having very strong opinions like that.
That's so cool. Just be like, yeah, New Year's Day, that's my fighting game holiday.
Right. Yeah.
So 364 days a year I play that one. I'm taking a break.
Jeez.
Amazing.
Also, yeah, another high level challenge of like, I think Kyle sent me a version of this, or I saw him in the Discord talking about like how it was like pretty late, like, oh crap, I guess we have to blur out this person probably because, they work for a company that doesn't want them talking about games somewhere. So like, hats off for the subtitles, deep challenge, and then also, now I gotta blur out the face of this subject, but still pulled it off. Looks great. Like, I know I shouldn't be such an easy mark for this stuff, but like just having like the close-up shot of like the CRT screen, like immediately makes me happy to see. It's like, I just love seeing that through a camera,
For sure.
And,
Great
and his
presentation.
grip. People were talking about like just watching his hands on the joystick and the buttons is like, oh my god, I've never held a stick like that in my life.
Right. Hey, way to go, Kyle. That's awesome. All right, keep it rolling. AFI sound here. Everyone make one at home.
Nice.
Just drink the bottle next time.
There's got to be a more efficient way to measure these things.
I am no chef.
For the time they recorded this one, I'm going to say 6 a.m.
Have you ever had a joke between family and friends that just never seemed to end? That is what a black diamond is. But even being a joke, it quickly became a symbol for a creative project between family members, a connection to actually making music, art, even this video. It may sound like a gross drink, and it is, but a symbol of creativity is something to celebrate.
8/4 parts Jägermeister, 16/8 parts champagne. Yes, the mixture measurement sounds ridiculous. 3 family members, friends, holed up in a small duplex for 12 hours, writing, playing, and recording songs from scratch, trading instruments and writing lyrics on the fly, creating an album. Also ridiculous. But the result? A bizarre but beautiful collection of songs that make me laugh and smile to myself. Just like the Black Diamond. Ridiculous is good.
So, other than questioning your level of curiosity and what a black diamond actually tastes like and wondering whether or not you could seriously be considering making one, what is the takeaway from any of this? When we take risks in expressing ourselves, even if it's all just a bunch of nonsensical songs and a disgusting signature drink, we produce something beautiful. Maybe it's not conventional beauty, but it's beautiful in the sense that it is human, and it makes us smile. Because in life, we need ridiculous creativity. We need more black diamonds in this world.
Yeah. Oh, and a plug for MinnMax at the end. That's unnecessary. Hey, congratulations, Brian and Allison, for putting that together.
The pathos of an inside joke.
Yeah.
Great topic.
Did not see that coming.
And another music one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe is it just? Do you think that people they feel more creatively open to the idea of doing like a short documentary event if they have that creative outlet for music that kind of primed the pump in a way if it's kind of in their orbit, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah, or wanting to step away from games, but having this be like a similar, thing that they do in their life, a project.
Right. Honestly, I saw the title of that one. I was like, I don't know where this is gonna go, but that had more depth to it than I was expecting. So hats off to Brian and Allison there. All right, here we go. Oh, sorry, I cut it off early. Sorry. More Japan?
Nice.
Yes. Yes. Sit back, folks.
Let's see what the conflict is here. We get to the second act.
The conflict is, I wish I lived near a bullet train. know where the battle arena is.
Oh my god. Spoilers for our Nintendo World Travelogue coming up. Come on, Leo, be cool. Look away, look away. Oh man, Sega stuff. Are you seeing this, Jacob?
What was the date at the beginning of this?
May.
Was it 2023?
Yeah.
2?
3. Get that tree out of the way. Hell yeah, getting around, man.
Oh, I love these.
Inspiration for Star Fox, if you didn't know, is these gates.
Coming to smack the camera out of their hands.
We get a takedown notice from Nintendo for airing this. Hell yeah. Tom G. Thank you so much, Tom G, for submitting that. Perfect.
Footage of just like a bunch of people walking around in a city, I feel like is just like, we can never have enough of that. You know, it's like, it's interesting to watch now. It will be even more interesting to watch in like 5 or 10 or 20 years. Like, just watching people walk around is always so cool.
Yep. Have you watched, what are those movies, that trilogy that Blank Check covered in their Patreon feed? Anaskazi? What's it called?
No, I have not.
Okay, that feels very up your alley. Hey, Jacob, next time we ever see each other in person, you want to just hang out and watch the first of those movies?
The first one? Yeah. Okay. I listened to the commentaries.
The third one was amazing. Okay, we're not talking Blank Check here. We're focusing on these documentaries, but congratulations to Tom Geheran for that one there. Cool angle. I love it. Okay, here we go. Hold on to your butts.
Hi, my name's Ian, and this is Bucky. And we live in a quiet little town at the end of nowhere in southwest Wales. A quiet little town with a small link to one of the biggest franchises in the world. But first, a little history. Pembroke Dock was founded in the early 19th century as a dockyard to construct frigates for the Royal Navy. When decommissioned in the 1920s, it then became one of the largest flying boat stations during the Second World War. After that, the town continues to thrive due to its proximity to local tourism hotspots, the Port Island, and work at the nearby oil refinery and power station, and steelwork engineering is still present in the town to this day. But that's not really what we're here for.
Easy, Disney, easy.
That's right, Star Wars. In 1977, a little movie came out to moderate success, some would say, and the world was set aflame with the wonder of science fantasy. But just 2 short years later, in 1979, Pembroke Dock was abuzz with something else. A rumour that a UFO was being constructed in one of the empty aircraft hangars in the dockyard. And shortly after that, with the worst kept secret in Pembroke Dock coming out, that UFO turned out to be, in fact, the Millennium Falcon. Yes, the Millennium Falcon. For real. Like, what? Yes, the full 1-to-1 scale set of the Millennium Falcon used in The Empire Strikes Back was built here in my humble little town. The steel and timber framework was constructed here by hired contractors in one of the old World War II aircraft hangars and is lovingly christened as the last ship to be built in Pembroke Dock.
That's perfect.
Once completed, the set was shipped in sections to Hertfordshire where all the details of the ship could be added for use in The Empire Strikes Back, specifically in the Echo Base hangar scenes. Seeing Han and Chewie be able to sit and repair the old rust bucket gave it much more life. There isn't really much more to say than that. We played our small step in the larger story of Star Wars, and The Empire Strikes Back went on to become one of the best movies of all time. So with that, remember, be good, have fun, and may the Force be with you.
Gotta fill those 3 minutes. Thanks so much, Ian. Way to go. Love
was
it.
Awesome.
Love it.
So cool.
It's
like the perfect, just like, here's the one interesting thing about my town.
Yeah. God, I will hopefully never forget that idea. I love the idea of like they consider it the last ship built there in the World War II lineage is the Falcon, like the ship to end all ships. So good. Awesome. Way to go, Ian Williams. Thank you.
Love it. Love that we're global.
Yeah, it is fun. It is fun to be global, you know?
Hi, my name is Josh Whitler, and myself, with my good friend and workplace colleague, Dr. Rex Adamson, decided to visit Western Ukraine this past April. We wanted to go to Ukraine to show solidarity with the people there and show folks back home that there are safe places you can still travel to as well. A lot of Ukraine's economy is centered around tourism, and given the current situations, tourists aren't exactly coming in droves right now. So here's where we went. We spent a lot of time in the city of Lviv, which is roughly an hour train ride east of the Polish border. There you can explore a beautiful medieval sector with cathedrals, shops, and, believe it or not, cat cafes. We were in the city during a holiday weekend, Orthodox Easter to be precise. And so there was a lot of people from out of town visiting family, coming to the city to probably go to a bigger cathedral for Easter service. And so the streets were just packed with people in a lot of places that we weren't expecting to see. And it was really cool just to be able to see the streets just so lively during this time. A lot of activity about, a lot of music, buskers playing. In fact, here, I'll show you some here right now. Then we rented a car with Budget Rent-A-Car and traveled south towards the Carpathian Mountains. Along the way, we stopped in, excuse my pronunciation, Drohovovic, Truskowitz, Skinitsa, and Tustin.
That is amazing.
Everywhere we went, the people were incredibly gracious, welcoming, and ridiculously patient with our broken Ukrainian. There is a danger factor to consider, yeah, true, but in the year that the conflict has been happening, it hasn't reached any of these places that we've been to, and we felt safe and totally protected the whole time we were there. If you're looking for a new place to visit, I highly recommend this beautiful country. I mean, come on. Where else are you gonna eat really expensive looking meats in a medieval dungeon? Or drink vodka in an underground military bunker? Or hike a mountain where a medieval fortress used to stand?
Sweet. Speaking
Nice.
of international,
Global.
Yeah, geez, oh Pete, I love that. I love that idea of just highlighting. Like, yeah, I know it's in the news, but there's still a whole other part of the country where they could use some support. Everybody, and like, who was the guy that he went with? I love the idea of just these two guys. Like, let's just go over there and explore a little bit, support this country. That's amazing.
Friend and colleague.
Jeez, yeah, I never could have expected that. And like, the part that got me is like, the person singing out the balcony, like, everyone seems so focused and like sweet about it. Like, is that, I'm wondering, like, before the war, would it be the same? Do you think it's just Ukrainian culture? Is there something about like people need to support the hell out of each other in this moment? So like, yeah, we're going to take this moment to appreciate a singer and clutch a loved one.
Yeah, probably extra.
Probably a little bit extra there. Yeah. Way to go. Jeez, did not see that coming. Okay, here we go. That was Halftip, by the way. Halftip made that last one.
Hidden in the streets of Tokyo lies a treasure trove of Nintendo history. Enter Hashi, the secret Nintendo cafe run by veteran game developer Toru Hashimoto. During his long career at Nintendo, Hashimoto worked on many iconic titles like Yoshi's Island, Pokemon, Earthbound, and many others.
What?
Today, he runs a cafe adorned with memorabilia he's received over the years, many from his former coworkers, and some of the most notable Japanese game developers.
天から声が降ってきて、飲食店やればって、それで始めたのがこのお店です。
Hashi opened in 2015 and was originally invitation only. You won't find its address on any map, and patrons are sworn to secrecy about its location. Hashi was a safe haven for game developers to meet and network in private, but recently, Hashimoto opened it up to tourists so anyone can enter with a reservation. カフェの雰囲気が変わるの気になりませんでしたか？
世界中の人、日本人だけじゃなくて、もっと世界中の人に見てほしいっていうのが大きかったから、もうなので予約して見てもらえるように開放しようと。
Many come to see the unique artwork and signatures found in the cafe from many of Hashimoto's peers, like Shigeru Miyamoto, Eiji Aonuma, and many others. Though guests may be drawn to the cafe's collection of gaming rarities, one of the true joys of visiting Hashi is the opportunity to speak to Toru Hashimoto, also known as Chokan. Hashimoto joined Nintendo in 1984 and has spent a large portion of his career as part of Super Mario Club, Nintendo's internal debugging team. He's got plenty of stories about his experiences working for the company.
任天堂はあんまりそういうの文化的にね、飲みに行ったりがない会社ではあったんだけれども、僕の同期一緒に、新入社員で一緒に入った人たちはものすごく仲が良くて、毎月に1回そのグループで飲みに行っていて、そのグループの中にこの手塚君とか近藤君も一緒だったので、その仲間でワイワイ一緒に飲んでましたね。
ディバーグが一番難しいゲーム覚えますか？
カービィのブロックボール難しかったかな。
特にどうしてですか？
ピンボールみたいなゲームなので、狙ったところに当てていくディバッグしなきゃいけないので、それがテクニック的にかなり難しかった。
Now that anyone can visit, Hashimoto hopes that the experience will help people come closer together through their love of video games.
ゲームやっててよかったなとか、あのゲームやってたよねとか、そういうコミュニケーションツールになるから、ゲームが共通言語になって世界中の人がよかったねとか楽しかったねって言ってもらえるのが一番いいかなと思ってます。
Jeez, oh Pete.
So cool.
That's from Tokyo Game Life. They have a podcast and they're on the Wall of Heroes on right now, strangely enough, coincidentally. That's unbelievable work, Tokyo Game Life.
I was going to say, it's like, I want to know so much more about the person who made this. You know, it's like, how did they develop this relationship with him?
Sounds like you should probably listen to the Tokyo Game Life podcast.
I should.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Like, super well done. Like, I'm glad that the owner of the cafe was up for talking about it. God, that was sweet. And just like seeing all those images, oh, so good.
You know, my eyes jumped out of my head at the little like Ueda shrine where they just had like Colossus, Last Guardian, Eco sitting next to each other.
And when do you think that like any Japanese developers go into that cafe and like, hey, I'll draw you a picture, I don't know, the puppeteer main character. They're like, just
the guy from Into Dreams.
Right. It's like, I think we're good. Thank you. Yeah, I've been there before, strangely enough, because it's called 8-4. Like, I think the folks from 8-4, one of the first times I was in Tokyo, brought me to it. It's just a super tiny little cafe, but that's awesome. And I love that idea that it's like, they take reservations, but you just can't find it on Google Maps. Like, is that the status of it? It's a little confusing. I don't know. Okay, next one. Here we go.
Sometimes in life, you get lucky enough to meet someone who inspires you to live your life better. This is the story of a good friend of mine named Neil, who's an inspiration to me every day to live my life to the fullest. Last year, Neil and I joined the fastest growing sport in America and started playing pickleball. Pickleball is a fast and challenging game that we've had a lot of fun learning. I've seen Neil improve a lot since we started playing. However, there's something about Neil that makes his pickleball game a little bit unique.
Hi, my name is Neil Mahon, and I am a stroke survivor. The day I had my stroke, I was driving my car, and my left side went numb. First my arm, and then my leg on my left side. And then I went home and took a nap, fell asleep. I thought I was dehydrated. And thankfully I woke up for that nap, and I felt more disoriented. Then I went to the hospital and stayed at the Clayton clinic for 8 weeks in the acute therapy division of the hospital. And honestly, it was stressful and wonderful at the same time. They really did a great job in my therapy.
What would you have to say to other stroke survivors out there?
I would say don't ever give up. Don't ever let someone tell you you can't do something. And don't ever be too hard on yourself. Always push for that extra edge. So when you're doing your therapy, get right to the point where you're doing it as hard as you can and try a little bit harder. I created a company called Stroke Fit LLC. We're a stroke fitness consulting company for people who have had strokes. What we do is physical consulting, trying to help you figure out new plans to better maximize the areas that you can maximize now and then in the future your plans will evolve. We also do life coaching. Stroke Fit LLC is a virtual stroke therapy consulting company. So we can work anywhere in the world and be able to help you, guide you in your therapy or suggest other therapeutic devices or strategies.
Life isn't always easy, and we all have struggles that we face in our lives and obstacles that we have to overcome. It's easy to give up in the face of adversity, but Neil's story shows that you can succeed in life with hard work and persistence, even against all the odds. I hope Neil can inspire you to live your life to the fullest the way that he inspires me every day. Thank you for watching, and I hope you can enjoy living life as much as Neil enjoys living his.
Wow, there you go. SGMills, everybody. SGMills.
Okay.
Awesome. Oh, hang on.
I'm glad we got the reveal of what restaurant they were at the end. Jersey Mike's.
Yeah. It's a nice plug for it.
Unless that was a different time. Because I think he's wearing a
multi-day
different
shoot.
shirt there. Yeah.
Right. Way to go. Yeah, I did not see that coming. And like, God, it's the sweetest note in the world. The idea of him like complimenting the hospital staff when he goes in for a stroke. Like, whew, that is a judo flip of kindness. That's just, unbelievable. All right. Way to go,
Really
SGMills. All right. Marriott, I guess I haven't announced it before, but MarriottPlayer made this next one. Here we go.
MarriottPlayer, it's broken.
Okay. Dad, Mom, how excited are you to go to Nathan's?
Very excited. I've been looking forward to this for the past 20 years.
You don't have to lie to us. How do you actually feel?
She doesn't know about Nathan's.
Enthusiastic.
Todo chévere, entonces.
Todo bien.
Hey, look, it's where we're gonna go. Assuming we get there, right?
They're taking
Check
that
it
thing
out,
to Nathan.
Palm Tree. It's the Wonder Wheel, as featured in the Rockstar classic, The Warriors, based on the Paramount Pictures classic, The Warriors. Paul's daughter, as opposed to Paul's, something else.
Yeah. This feels like a travelogue.
Now, Dad, did I just hear you say your hot dog was great?
Absolutely. It's super good.
You're not
Super
just
good.
saying that because you're on camera. You mean
Look
it.
at this. Look at this. Look at this now.
Uh-huh.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this now.
It sure does look like something you can get at a mall and not have to go all the way to Coney Island for it. Okay, mamá. Para la gente en la calle, for the folks at home and on the street, give me an opinion. Go ahead.
Está sabroso,
Uh-huh.
suavecito.
Okay. Okay, soft, delicious, great. ¿Algo más?
Y apetecible.
Appetizing, good to know. So this hot dog so far, it tastes exactly what you would think it would taste like, which is a hot dog. This milkshake is pretty good, but as you can see here, the straw, when you suck through it, it kind of bends.
Yeah.
So that reads to me as a ripoff. Otherwise, yeah. Oh my god.
That's awesome.
That's perfect.
Honestly, there should be more people's parents in these videos, and I was kind of expecting more, though we've got plenty to go.
But the good news is those two parents had so much personality, it kind of accounts for the lack of parents that we've seen so far, because like that mom, I could go for a 4-minute documentary about her. Like that is a personality. Like, and the wind blowing in her hair just made her like more compelling on screen somehow.
Those parents popped for sure. They popped.
Oh,
just the dad reviewing his hot dog. I was like, yes, tell me about more foods.
Look at this. Look at this. Says Marriott's dad, says Bob. Yes, this is going to be on YouTube afterwards, Tower of Babel. Excellent work there, MarriottPlayer. Truly top notch. All right, here we go. God, what a fun grab bag. It's fun. Truly no idea what's coming up next. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Tell them about the Falcon. Okay.
There was some guy in the mailroom who was casting for a Japanimation show. And I had the deepest voice in the mailroom, and he offered me free pizza. So I couldn't turn that down. I was literally a starving musician, so I came on a weekend and looked into a monitor, and they wanted me to be a creature ripping the arm off of another creature.
There were many pens that were lightsabers in the studios.
Just passing the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi just a couple days ago. So how does it? It's just unbelievable how it's been that much time.
I know. I was just a kid then. A kid of 37. It's incredible. And then I went backwards for a bit, and then I came forwards again. And then I got killed, and then I was reincarnated. What a way to spend your life.
Hell yeah. This Ghostbuster's talking to him.
Tell him about a ghost problem he has.
We need someone in the story that can call Kratos Mr. Grumbles. And it's good that it's Faye. The starter set Lost Minds of Pendelver is a really great starter set. So if you don't play D&D and you are interested, you should play D&D. All of you should play D&D.
What the? That's cool.
Who's in that?
Oh, good God. Just sprays and then runs away.
They're too skinny. I don't like that.
Yeah, those guys are no good. Jesus.
Or is it someone pod racer?
Yeah. Good polio. Come on.
Very
now.
nice.
Hey, Starkiller, ladies and gentlemen. Perfect. Hey, I'm going to this Comic-Con. Let's make the most out of it. You did it, Starkiller. By the way, I don't think I'd really thought about Ian McDermott that much. If you were casting an old wrinkly emperor, you'd cast a 37-year-old? Isn't that weird for George Lucas?
Well, they knew he'd have to play that old man for the next 50 years.
That's right. So weird. I love it. Way to go. Thank you, Starkiller. All right, here we go. Yeah, great job pulling in the clips too there, Starkiller, from the panels. That's a tough thing to cut together to go through all those. Okay, here we go.
So, Dad, what are we out here doing today?
Yes.
Well, today we're taking pictures and videos of the Horsey 100. This is a big annual ride by the Bluegrass Cycling Club, and the longest route is 102 miles, but they've got shorter routes, so we're out just taking pictures and drone footage of the ride today.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Great shots.
So why do you choose to photograph when you could be out biking?
Well, I have a lot of opportunity to bike. I've ridden this ride several times, and one of the things I do for the club is just try to capture some of the pictures, some of the moments that other people are experiencing. And I'll find my time to get out and ride these rides.
Awesome shot.
During our stop here, we had one of these riders come up to me, and she thanked me for volunteering. I thought that was so nice, and she told me a little bit about her life story and how growing up, she's just had multiple surgeries, 13, and she 3 times was told that she would probably never be able to walk again. But here she is, not only standing, but she's going through this Horsey 100 marathon, and she just explains how she's able to get on that bike and forget any of those trials and tribulations that she's going through. You get to hear stories like that as you go through this course and just get to take pictures of people. It's so rewarding.
Jesus, way to go. That is
Horsey 100.
Yeah, Matthew Sirrine killing it like that. Musically, unbelievable. Great choice combined with just like drone shots of bikes over rolling green fields, like unbelievable. That's just, it's going to lock you into a certain mood immediately. You nailed it. You got
T-Bird said, love a folksy drone. Yeah, that was a fun juxtaposition there.
Yeah. God
and
damn.
I love like documenting the documentarian. You
Right,
know, it's like
right.
I like seeing how they got the shots that are then becoming the shots of the festival. Or whatever.
Right, for sure. God dang. All right. Hey, you know what? Maybe humanity is going to be all right. If we just get off Twitter, this is what the rest of the world looks like, everybody. Okay, here we go.
All of these have been made by AI, Ben.
Shut up. That's the twist at the end.
Hey everyone, this is Danny, also known as CherryStemic on Discord, and this video is about my trip to the Aldhani Dam from the Star Wars TV series Andor.
Yes!
So the dam used
You
in
have the
Andor
three
is a real
right people
functioning
for this
dam in
documentary.
Scotland called Cruachan Dam, and it's named after the mountain that it's situated on, called Ben Cruachan. I'm from Scotland myself. I stay about 80 miles southeast of the dam in the city of Glasgow, and I just happened to be visiting some family in the nearby town of Taynuilt. My family's back garden has an amazing view of the mountain, and we heard that there was a power station inside of it that you could do tours of. So we decided to do the tour, which takes place at this visitor center at the base of the mountain, and the center overlooks this loch known as Loch Awe. I actually had no idea that the dam from Andor was here until I saw these souvenirs in the gift shop where I immediately recognized it. So yeah, this was a complete surprise, and it made me appreciate the tour going forward even more. The tour involved taking a bus from the center through a tunnel into the mountain, with a tour guide inside the bus explaining everything. He mentioned that water is released from the reservoir at the top down into the loch below, where it passes through a turbine that generates electricity. The water from the loch is then pumped back up into the reservoir to start the process again. I asked the guide if there was any way to see the top of the dam, and he let me know the route to take. So I waited for the next day with decent weather, and off I went.
Sweet.
Which, in Scotland, might have been 2 months from when he first went.
I want to go there.
You can walk to the dam, but only worker vehicles can drive there.
Oh, cool.
And eventually I turned a corner, and there the dam was. It took about an hour and a half to get to this point. To celebrate, I opened a can of Iron Brew, which is the national drink of Scotland. I think what struck me about the dam was that it was at once imposing, but also understated in a way, and how in the show it was depicted as being heavily guarded, when in reality you can walk right up to it, or graze next to it. When I finally got back, I realized that I'd went to the dam on May the 4th.
Come on.
Genuinely. Thank you for watching, and thank you to MinnMax for encouraging this to be made. Okay, bye everybody.
Hell yeah, Danny Cherry.
That's so cool.
CherryStemic.
I can't believe he didn't realize that's what it was, and then made the trip from right there to there, and it happened to be on May the 4th?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is truly bizarre. And like, how long until the damn tour guide starts really leaning into it? Of like, by the way, you Andor fans, I don't know, like, could you bring tourists in for that? As much as we all love Andor, I don't know if I'm like traveling out of my way for a dam, but look, a tour of a dam sounds great regardless.
Oh, and it's like the Scottish mountains are like the most beautiful place on earth. So it's like you don't need an excuse to go there. But if it helps, Star Wars show, it was there.
That's sweet.
It's a classic tour guide fun fact. It's going to get worked into the banter for sure.
But like, what a deep cut for Mr. Andor. What's his name?
Cassian?
Andor? Sure. I was thinking of the showrunner, Tony Gilroy. Like, you know, just to go for like, to find this kind of obscure dam, like that's such a wild thing, but that's
I
cool.
wouldn't have thought it was even real, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, he did it.
Yeah, let's all celebrate Tony today, Jacob, because he pulled off the impossible. He scoured
People
that
want to
dam.
give all the credit to Cassian Andor.
All right, here we go. Way to go, CherryStemic. Ooh. Oh, this isn't fair.
Leo, this is going to be your one with big CGI action. I can
September
feel it.
18th, 2021. It hasn't always been like this. I don't know if I've ever felt like my life was my own, and until recently I couldn't really articulate it. Just this vague feeling that everyone else had figured out how to be a person way before me. This overwhelming sense that there was something seriously wrong with me.
Get out of the way.
Okay, sit down.
At this point, one of two things can happen. I can keep going down the path I'm on and see where it takes me, or I can make one last attempt at sincerity in hopes of saving myself. I don't know if I can do it, though. What will Dad think?
You are so beautiful. There he is. The man getting his first meal.
Cereal.
Cereal.
Who's my boy? Who's my girl? Who's my puppy?
He probably scratched himself when you were young. You used to do the same thing. Babies just go right for their face.
Drew.
Wow.
Jeez.
Beautiful.
That is a lot to go through, Drew. I wonder if just you have all that footage and then combing through all that just to be like, okay, here they're labeling me, here's they're labeling me. Like that is incredible.
And
Right.
just, you know, they kind of like the sense to be like, we don't need this to be a before and after.
Right,
Like this can just be kind of historical footage of my life, and the viewer can, you know, take whatever they want from it. But like, here's where it started, and now, you know, the future is kind of uncertain.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That is such a more powerful choice. That's incredible. All right.
And just in time for Pride Month.
That's right. Here we are. All right. Next one. Here we go.
Thank you.
Come on. You can't use this music. SimCity 2013. This is cheating.
This is a westbound entrance to Interstate 84 in Hartford, Connecticut. It's located at the intersection of four neighborhoods: Asylum Hill, the West End, Parkville, and Frolic Hollow. This entire area is suppressed and smothered by interstate infrastructure. The elevated highway that looms over this land was completed in 1965. Instead of places for people to actually exist, there's a monolith dedicated to the automobile. This is a pretty crude measurement, but there's conservatively just over 14.5 million square feet of land taken up by highway in Hartford. This doesn't include the downtown public library branch or Heaven Skate Park, which are built on top of the highway. In the 60 years since I-84 was completed, the city's population has dropped by 40,000 people. The census tracts here range from just under 9,000 people per square mile to a little over 17,000 people per square mile, making it one of the densest areas in the region. For some perspective, if you look at the most populated cities in the United States, Hartford is the 44th most densely populated, despite being the 240th in population overall. Essentially, these 40-some miles of barriers in the city are really effective tools of oppression. Even if this all looks pretty bleak, there are a ton of resources out there on the impacts that urban renewal activity and the interstate system have had on American cities. People have spent a lot of time and money and done a lot of work figuring out how to fix these pockets of insanity. In fact, some of the earliest pushback against urban highways can actually be traced to a 1957 conference in Hartford. Hosted by Connecticut General Life Insurance Company, urban thought leaders pushed back against the first leadership of the newly created Federal Highway Administration. Studies on how to best fix this monstrosity go back as far as 2010. So far, nothing has changed since the structure reached its end of life in 2005. At the very least, tens of millions of dollars are being spent to figure out the best plan, to spend billions more removing this thing. People deserve to live in safer, healthier, more human-oriented places than this.
Connor, the range.
Ben, you're incorrect. Actually, the only person who can use SimCity music is someone who's talking about highways.
Yeah, you know what? You can't use it to study anymore. God, just the range on these docks, unbelievable.
That was a great topic. If these were all on that topic, that'd be great. When they showed the dead end highway, I physically recoiled at that. It was shocking.
Okay, Connor, you need to go either to a dam in Scotland or you need to go on a 100-mile bike ride just to get out of there. Just for like a weekend. I feel like you need it in your system a little bit there. Whew, way to go. Okay, here we go.
Auburn, Kansas is a small town southwest of the capital city of Topeka. Its main street is rather sparse, with a gas station, a liquor store, a pizza place, and 2 baseball diamonds. But at one point, someone tried to change that.
It was John Jenkins. He sells Highland Angus beef hamburgers on a truck, and he's always there at the fair. He wanted to make Main Street a true Main Street, which would have shops and different stores on, either side. He wanted to convince the city council so that he could build this Main Street. Every little town has a Main Street. We don't have a Main Street. And since what we have right now is a ball diamond that covers most of the west side, he wanted to move the ball diamond to another place. At that time, we only had one ball diamond.
The baseball diamond was the main roadblock for the plan, since Auburn fielded teams in the Flint Hills League, which allowed young children to play baseball and softball against other small towns in the area. The diamond was also used during the yearly fair as a location for rides and other games, so a solution had to be found.
Until he had a place to put the diamonds, he wasn't going to be able to convince them to give up the diamond. If he said, I want to build a Main Street, they're going to say, well, what are we going to do with the ball diamonds? And he found a plot of land that would work.
There was an empty plot of land farther to the northeast, where an assisted living facility and apartments are today. A perfect solution to the problem.
So he had me, draw up this plan of what he had in mind for moving the ball diamond. They were all in favor of doing it. The problem was the land was deeded to do something else, and so we couldn't.
But if the city had deeded the land for a purpose, surely they could just change their decision. What name was on the deed anyway?
It was deeded by Abraham Lincoln as president. So it was between 60 and 64. He deeded it to be used, the land to be used strictly for recreational purposes. So he contacted me the next day and told me what happened. I'm like, well, that was a bust. So it still looks like it did then. Every little town has a Main Street. We don't have a Main Street. And now we know why.
What?
We can't.
Twist ending. Wow.
Oh, that is so funny. I mean, it's like, it was already this kind of perfect picture of a small town of just like, there are so few variables, It's like,
right.
The one problem, there's a baseball diamond. Can we prove it? And then throwing in that, pun intended, curveball. Excellent work.
That's Aegis of the Grail. Aegis? How do you say that word? The shield word? Aegis? Aegis of the Grail? God damn. How do you find the woman who's going to speak on that? Like, that's probably like a good town story, but it's like, that's the challenge. It's like, how do we find the one person who can tell this the best?
For sure.
Way to go. All right. I thought, where did you think that was going, Leo?
Well, I really liked that with all the modern footage. It was like kind of a gloomy energy of like, here's the proof that this isn't going to work out.
Right. Okay, here we go. Next one. Let's get chat down. Oh, that was his mom telling
Do
the
you
story.
ever think about who built the ground beneath your feet? How long it has been there? How much it may have changed? Do you think about what lies even further beneath that? Since the day I found out about this particular place, it's been stuck in my head that I've got to see it all the way through.
Please tell me it's about
My
a
home
cave.
state of Oregon has always played a massive role in the lumber industry, for better or for worse. A lot of the remnants of the early days of that still remain. Some obvious, like museums, and some more hidden. This is one of those. So 32 million years ago, this area was offshore, underwater. Now, it's about 20 miles inland. In the much more recent past of the 1800s and 1900s, this area was a boom for the lumber industry. They needed a way to move massive amounts of timber out of here, and one of the most efficient ways was trains. If you park at the trailhead and take a 15 to 20 minute hike, you can find what remains. This is the Portland and Southwestern Railroad Tunnel, also known as the Nehalem Divide train tunnel. And after many years off and on construction issues and back and forth, it was finally in use as of 1921. So here, we're entering through the west portal. The dot of light you see in the distance is the east portal, about the equivalent of 6 football fields away. On the wall, you'll notice there are yellow and black sections. Those are layers of fossil now peeking through. The tunnel mostly consists of sandstone and that fossil layer, neither of which were very stable. When the train was running, cave-ins were common. Use common sense and stay safe. We won't be going very far in today. During this visit in May, the temperature outside the tunnel was 70 and inside was in the 50s. Here's what it looks like if you turn all of your lights off, just about maybe a quarter of the way. At its peak, 1 million board feet of lumber moved through it daily. The tunnel was always built to be temporary, and because of that, it's unique. Similar tunnels would have had cement or masonry added to strengthen their supports. This one never did, and yet it still remains standing more than over 100 years since its construction. Since there was still daylight out, we decided to exit, hike around to the opposite side, and try to locate the east portal entrance for a few hours.
Cool.
Well, we have attempted to find the eastern portal, but have not succeeded. Somebody fell and hit their face. You know, you can't win them all.
Don't worry, folks. My mom's face is okay, and we made it home safely. But I'll be back soon, better equipped, and ready to see this thing all the way through.
Hell yeah.
That is so good.
I love it. Shout out to Dylan Kelly for submitting that one. God, it was tough not to just think about Tears of the Kingdom the entire time in the depths. Like, you just got to find one of those tree things. Just light it up. You just got to see everything.
Route 0, baby.
God, like, okay, the preparation, having the facts of like how much lumber moved through that specific tunnel, having the thermometer, like all of those details are adding so much to that. That is so good.
Mom? It had it all.
Yeah, you're right. Secret mom at the end.
Bonus mom.
Mom with a hurt face. Dylan, hats off. I mean, also subtitles.
Yeah, there's my action. The hurt face.
Ooh, that's true. Yeah, geez, super impressive. Geez, oh Pete. All right, next one. Here we go.
Growing up, I always liked to build things. I always like to create, and so I've had all kinds of interests, from wanting to build things and become an architect to wanting to be an actor or a writer. I needed a job that had end goals but allowed me to use my creativity. Did I think that was libraries initially? No. I thought being an artist would be the thing, and libraries would simply be a place where I could put away books between my creative affairs. A library isn't just about books. It's about access. A library makerspace is a place where we have equipment you might not otherwise have in your home. We have everything from 3D printing to laser cutting to CNC routing. We also provide training and programming to sort of enhance your skills. A library makerspace is that opportunity to take that idea and make it a reality.
Oh, cool.
The future of libraries is the idea that everyone has a right to have access, the right to have books, to have online databases, the right to be able to create and have an opportunity to find a job, to find a place where they feel safe, or just study, to be able to meet up with people. Libraries are one of the few places that are purely free to be able to just go to and hang out all day. And that's special. growing up, there's two things I wanted most in this world, and one of them was to do something creative. And I love volunteering to be able to help people. But one of the biggest things that I thought would be even more special would be to make that job selection something that I truly knew that every day I'm making a difference in people's lives. And sometimes it feels very minute, but sometimes you just have someone with a little girl who walks in the room who is hiding behind her dad because they wanted to say thank you for the awesome programs that you do. These are those kind of moments where you go, I'm glad at being a librarian and something that I truly feel like I'm making a difference in the community.
Adrian Torres. Oh, hey, MinnMax community, shout out.
Libraries are precious.
Honestly, seeing like that green screen in the library, I was like, yeah, of course that's what you should put there. Like that, absolutely, that would bring people in, and just having an overall creative space. I hadn't seen that before, but that's super smart, of course.
It's great.
Yeah, great work, Adrian T. Love it. Thank you for keeping it within 3 minutes. I could see the tension of like, all right, we want to have a lot more details here. Let's just put it on the screen. Hopefully we can overlap these thoughts. And yeah, still totally worked. Okay, here we go.
In a world filled with wonder and joy, there is nothing quite as captivating as the journey of a child. This is Sirrine, my 11-month baby girl, full of life and endless possibilities. With Sirrine's arrival, the wife and I found ourselves navigating the uncharted waters of parenthood. The sleepless nights, constant care, and the immense love we have for our little one consumed our days. Sirrine loves learning her ABCs and colors, and she especially loves listening to music. But sometimes she just needs a break from her favorite YouTube personalities. That's when she immerses herself in a world of imagination and self-entertainment. Her creativity knows no bounds as she explores her surroundings, discovering new ways to amuse herself. We love introducing her to new experiences, especially when it comes to foods and drinks. We honestly never know what her reaction's gonna be. Sometimes she does this, and sometimes she does, well, pretty much the same thing. But I promise, she really does love to eat food.
Too much? Something.
Like a shadow that never leaves our side, Sirrine is a constant presence in our lives.
Hi.
She follows us with her sparkling eyes, a silent observer of our daily activities, and a reminder that sometimes it's all about the simple things in life.
Smell?
It's insane how she went from crawling to climbing, and now we're moments away from Sirrine's next exciting milestone, walking.
That's cool.
I know that she's growing up every single day, and I truly wish I could just freeze this moment in time. This is Sirrine, my teeny, beautiful baby girl.
Come on now.
Playing right to Hanson. Very nice.
SimCity music, babies. You know what I like, everybody.
That was beautiful. So well made. If your child's personality is changed by interacting with Blumpo, you may be entitled to compensation. Look into that.
Man, also, yeah, just the wish to like freeze a moment in time. You did it. I'm glad we could help you do that just by filming so much and locking in this video that you can bore your kid with later by showing it to them. That's so sweet. I love it. I'm glad. I wonder, do you think Truffaut had a bunch of that footage ready to go? Or do you think they filmed a lot of extra stuff just for this? Or do you think like average parent, they're filming that much for their kid anyway?
I think they had it on deck.
Oh, you think Truffaut's cheating, Jacob Geller? Is that what's going on here?
No, I think there are extra parts Bill in there, but like, look, yeah, but you can produce a child. You're gonna be filming that thing every damn minute.
Yeah, it's true.
That kid's 14 now. That was all stock footage.
Congratulations, Truffaut. Great job. Great job, great kid.
My name's Andrew Molaro. I'm an ecologist and evolutionary biologist. When I was in high school, in particular, I was just pretty enamored by being outside and being immersed in nature, and I kind of almost didn't want it to be over at the end of the day. And so I was introduced to this really amazing hobby of keeping reptiles and amphibians. There's a lot of really great people that do it, and they gave me a lot of tools and knowledge to be able to keep these, and my collection amassed from there. And as I got into college, moved away from my parents' house, I got to keep more things, and that's with the collection I have.
Poison dart frogs are, I think, my favorite thing to keep. Because once you get them started, they're really, really easy. And what a lot of people don't know is that they actually lose their toxicity in captivity. The bright coloration is used as a warning because in the wild they have pretty toxic alkaloids that they secrete out of their skin. And so a good portion of them will have these bright colorations as kind of a warning to predators, for predators to learn that they're distasteful, they're toxic, and they don't want to be eating them. This is Pepper. And hognose snakes are really fantastic. This is one of the easier species of snakes that you can keep, and it's just really kind of a different species, different texture than the typical snakes that you would find in pet stores.
How dangerous would it be if you were to get bit by Pepper?
If you had an allergic reaction, that's about it. It's not a deadly venom, but most people just get a little itchy. I source all of my animals very ethically. I talk to breeders. I go to these shows where people bring the animals that they breed, and I get to meet with them and interact with them. But I would encourage, if people want to keep animals like this, is to do your research and try and get the animals that you want kind of ethically and responsibly, because there's a lot of really awesome species that are all captive bred that don't hurt wild populations.
Is there such a thing as too many snakes?
I don't think so. I think everyone should have a pet snake because they're just super adorable. They're very misunderstood. They don't just want to bite you. See, you can have too many snakes. You get in the 40s and 50s, that's too much for me. But I love all of my snakes. I think everyone should have one, and the world would be a better place.
Hell yeah. True words have never been.
You can have mine, I'll say. That was fascinating. I love the peek at like what ethical purchasing of an animal like that looks like.
Right. The footage of like the snake show, I've never seen that before. Like those small cages, but I guess that's all right. Jacob Thompson.
And it's like that fact about frogs losing their toxicity, like that's just going in my brain. I'm just gonna like bust that one out at parties now. Like, hey, want to know a cool fact?
But I know we're not done yet, but this rules, everybody. This is better MinnMax stuff than we could ever dream of doing. When I started this whole thing, it's like, oh, I hope we can get just some blasts of humanity out there on the internet, and this one stream has topped everything we've ever done. So way to go, people. Really cool. Way to go, Jacob Thompson, for that last one. Okay, here we go. Next one.
We made a down flap.
So are we naming this game Clumsy Chicken or Happy Chicken?
Clumsy bird.
Bird.
Whoa! Oh, we thought pipe out meant this, but they meant this. Oh, right. Okay. Chickens. You want to make it smaller? We can make it smaller. Let's go.
Balancing.
Okay. Make it whatever you want. It's gonna be tiny. You're gonna win so easily. It's tiny. Tiny bird. Tiny bird. Let's increase this to 65. Okay. Okay. Notice while you play. What are you noticing you want to have be different? Nothing? This is it? Yes.
Me playing Hitman.
I still think we should do every time you cross a pipe, it changes the color of something, either the background. Okay, this is gonna get hard now though, because now we're. where does it update the score? So what Alex thinks is instead of writing it from scratch, we should see every time the score goes up, we should just update the color. That's like the same thing. Pretty smart. You get what we're doing? Are you sure? Okay, I'm believing you. We added a bug.
It's Duckbird.
Ooh. Oh. Aha! Right? Like, I feel like this. Oh, this is hard. Ooh, I got a little green. Okay, now you try. Go, go, go. Go, take over. Take over. Take over. Wahoo! We're beating the game! Okay. Up and down. I should not hit the pipe. Okay. Oh, you made it. Top score is nice. We made it. Wow. That's awesome. You can look at all of the code.
Guys, what about you guys?
Hang on to Batoka. Oh, sweetie pie.
Well, yeah, that's the sweetest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That just made me so happy.
Jesus Christ. Did anybody else get weirdly stressed out at the end then when that wave music or the wave sound started picking up?
It's like the end of A Serious Man. That was really, really good. And maybe the most
Wow.
parents we've seen yet.
Yeah.
2 parents and a grandparent.
That's pretty damn good. Man.
What a great way to bond with your kid. To do something you're both
absolute-
excited about and problem solving on the fly.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Parents of the damn year. Jeez. That was Goose Owen. Congratulations, Goose Owen. Way to go. Jeez. Made me feel like a lazy dad, says Bang. Hey, just teach your kid to code. How hard can it be? Man, we're not worthy of watching that. That was so sweet. Oh my God. Oh, Chasing says she's the aunt, actually. Okay,
thank you, nice.
still. Okay, here we go.
2.5.
Walk through my neighborhood a lot, and there's one house that always captured my attention. Probably can't tell why here. Used to be a lot more going on here. It's probably easier just to show you. A while back, as the pandemic was ending, they had bands that played here, like this marching band. That's actually not what I'm interested in either. It's this view of the house that I'm interested in. It's a view that no longer exists, but more specifically, I'm interested in the stuff by the house. Sure, you got your normal house stuff, plants, some lawn chairs, but it's pretty clear there's a lot more going on here.
Let's get to the skeleton.
This photograph
Yeah.
was not taken around Halloween. This isn't a celebrate Halloween kind of house. It's a every day is Halloween kind of house. And judging from the amount of disco balls, the party does not end. This isn't all the disco balls, by the way. This is just the few that are in this particular photograph. Who's at this party? Buddha. Some various Greek and Roman statues. Some wildlife of different kinds. Pretty much everybody's invited. Then there's the rest of the stuff. It's too much stuff to really
Very fun to see
name.
dads written out.
I think that you've seen it all, and then you walk by and you see something in a corner that you'd encountered before. It seems endless. But then you walk by again and it's just gone. No more Halloween decorations, no Buddha, no marching band. Just a house. As it turns out, the party is not endless.
Hell yes. Jesus.
It had my favorite thing, which is assuming non-diegetic music only revealed to be I was like, oh, okay, so they got a recording of that marching band song, and it was like, no, it's in the documentary.
Yeah, he got them performing a royalty-free song live.
That was John G that made that one. Yeah, I love that. That is perfect of like, what do I make a documentary about? I don't know. I know thousands of you out there, maybe you thought, I don't know what I make a documentary about. Moving on. But John here is like, oh, that weird house where all that stuff disappeared. I'm going to focus on that.
I love that theme here. People just like going outside and just something that they know in their environment. Just give it that 3 minutes. That's so fascinating.
I love it. All right.
The greenhouse is still there.
Oh, wait.
Thought of the stuff, of course. I get the feeling that the next people to move in this neighborhood, though, aren't going to have quite as many disco balls.
No.
Secret post credits.
You weren't ready for that.
I'll do it myself. Okay, here we go.
Today, a typical Amtrak long-distance train traveling through the Midwest is traveling about 79 miles an hour and takes about 1.2 miles to safely come to a stop. While the technology of the railroad has improved greatly over the last 150 years, the basic principles of how a train stops has not. Before modern braking technology, train sets were stopped with the use of brakemen. Brakemen would ride on top of the trains, and when the engineer gave the signal, via the whistle, the brakeman would apply the handbrakes on top of the car, then run along the moving train, jump to the next car, and repeat the process until enough brakes were applied to stop the train. This process could take up to 2 miles to stop a train, and that was assuming the brakeman wouldn't fall off the train or get crushed between moving cars, which many did. It's been documented in one particular year that 5,000 brakemen were killed or injured in the U.S. Some railroads at the time felt the only obligation was to then move the body to the side of the tracks. Enter George Westinghouse Jr. and his invention of the Westinghouse automatic air brake system in 1869.
Great pick.
Westinghouse used new air compressor technology to hold the brakes off the wheels of the train using air. Hoses that run under every individual train car are used in conjunction with brake cylinders to push the brake shoes off of the wheel, allowing it to turn freely. Pictured here is the control stand of a P-42 locomotive. The black knob in the center is the throttle, allowing the train to move forward. The red lever is the automatic brake valve, which allows the engineer to determine how much air is in the brake system. This is a diagram of the air brake system. As you can see in the top left is the driver's brake valve, the red lever from before. This is connected to the brake pipe and leads all the way down to the triple valve. By manipulating the amount of air in the system, the engineer affects the brake cylinder pressure, which either sets or releases the brake shoe from the wheel. The advantage to this system is that if the pipes become separated, or the couplings become separated, or the pipe breaks, the train automatically comes to a stop.
Huh.
So this is why Westinghouse's air brake system is referred to as the brakes that worked, even when they failed.
We will talk trains to you.
I love it. Procyon number 6, ladies and gentlemen.
Awesome. That's the Empire Builder. I think that train all the
people
time.
died a year? 5,000?
Late in the 2013.
Hang on.
Oh, wait.
Dude,
And it's another
that's
one
saved
about
so many
trains.
lives.
Yeah, this is okay. Confusing train segue. This seems like the next one. We shouldn't start this already. Yeah, that is mind-boggling to think that many people died. But geez, Procyon number 6. Way to go! I love it. Just look, dorks are dorks, and we love dorks. And if you're a dork for train brakes, hell yeah, you're welcome here. You're welcome in that Discord. Love it. Yeah, it was fully randomized. People are confused. Yeah, it is weird. It's just weird themes popping up throughout all these.
Public transportation and parents. That's what we're seeing.
Right. Weird.
So it resonates.
All right, here we go. Next one. I have a feeling it involves Gunslinger.
Great topic.
Great game. And more great train footage.
Late in the 2013 Techland FBS, Call of Juarez Gunslinger, you play through a level set during an 1881 train robbery right outside of Winston, Missouri. Playing as bounty hunter Silas Graves, you shoot your way through 50-odd outlaws who had already killed or otherwise forced off all of the passengers and crew, culminating in a duel with Jesse James where he is non-lethally wounded. Located in Davis County, the village of Winston, Missouri, has been home to roughly 300 people for the last 150 years, ever since it was established as a railroad depot. Constructed in 1871, the Rock Island Railroad Depot was in active use up until 1938. The tale Silas spins in the game is a tall one, but not entirely outside the realm of reality. On the evening of Friday, July 15th, 1881, somewhere between 3 and 12 members of the James gang hopped aboard a train leaving the depot, headed eastward. While boarding the train, warning shots were fired, and when train conductor William Westfall did not comply, he was shot and killed along with passenger Frank McMillan. The outlaws then secured the safe, stealing somewhere between $3,000 and $15,000. They continued to ride down the tracks and passed an active construction site and hopped off around Little Dog Creek. News of the train robbery spread across the country over the following days, and a handful of men were arrested in relation to the crime. Most famously, Frank James surrendered in 1883 and was put on trial for several of his crimes, including the Winston robbery and murders, but was acquitted by a stacked jury of Southern sympathizers. The depot was restored in the late 1980s after falling into a state of disrepair, and today functions as a museum.
Sweet.
Nice.
I love that idea. We all love Call of Juarez Gunslinger. Let's just focus on one specific moment from that entire game. That is so cool.
Great footage of all the locations.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Shout out to Gabe Brandolino. Way to go, Gabe, for submitting that. One of my favorite things about this is, you know, people are sending me the links for these documentaries like on Patreon or just through the Discord. And there were so many names that I was like, I don't know who this person is. I love that it's like there were people who are not super engaged in the Discord that were like, you know what, I'm gonna jump into the community in a bigger way just to work on this little documentary. So shout out to everybody who submitted one here. We still got some more to go. Whew. All right, back to the show.
Public transportation, baby.
Hang on, is this the same thing? Oh yeah, I keep pausing. Wow. Sorry, if you fade to black, I'm gonna stop your time.
I was like, wow, another one about Winston, Missouri.
Way to go, Winston. Nice representation. Again, fill in that 3 minutes. You gotta do it. I gave you 3 minutes, and by God, you'll use it. Oh, focus on that house. That's a documentary right there.
Maybe that's the next one.
That'd be fun. Procyon number 6 says, trains, my people. Hell yeah, Procyon. We got that message. I like this already.
There's so much suspense building.
Feels like marching.
I'm waiting for a gun to come up into frame.
Smelling owls.
Trinity River is one of the most valuable resources we have in our state. It begins in North Texas and goes all the way towards the Gulf of Mexico, about 710 miles long. It provides water for over 10 million people, and also all the wildlife that are associated with the habitats along and throughout the Trinity River watershed. The river itself is used as a corridor for migratory species such as the painted bunting, the dickcissel, and all the other animals that rely on the habitats that the Trinity River helps protect and create.
Yeah, I think they're just holding their phone. Do they have a stabilizer?
Hi, my name is Marcus Cole. I'm an educator with the Trinity River Audubon Center. We are located in South Dallas, about 10 minutes away from downtown Dallas, tucked next to the Great Trinity Forest, which is the largest urban bottomland hardwood forest in North America at 6,000 acres. A bottomland because it's in close proximity to the Trinity River, which is a crucial river for our environment. And it runs from North Texas to south, connects to the Gulf of Mexico, about 710 miles, and we depend on it so much. It's one of the reasons why we work so hard to protect the areas that birds need for today and tomorrow, including the river. We have lots of programs that are dedicated to educate people when they go out on our 5 miles of hiking trails and 120 acres so that they can take the value of nature home with them and have it in their hearts.
Hell yeah, Justin Chen, ladies and gentlemen.
I love just like, this is a cool thing in presumably in the town that I live in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show it off.
Also, shout out to Cole for looking straight at a camera and just seeming like he's more comfortable than most people are in their day-to-day lives. Like, right down the camera lens, I'm just going to tell you everything I know about this place. That's incredible.
Fascinating that that's the largest bottomland hardwood forest in North America is in Texas. I don't think forests when I think Texas, but they're big enough to have everything, I guess.
Are you calling Cole a liar or what?
I'm going to need a second source on this.
All right, here we go.
But what if you could, right? What if you could make a game and it could be everything that you're not allowed to do on television or in feature films? What if you could make a game with no notes and no executives and make it whatever we want as a team? I'm happy to say, I think Freedom Finger kind of still checks all those boxes for me.
Calling Gamma Ray. This is Major Cigar. Do you read me, Gamma Ray?
I got my start in post-production. I was working professionally as an editor. That led me to kind of experimenting with animations. Eventually, development executive at Nickelodeon saw one of the animations and said, hey, maybe you can pitch us a TV show. And I was fortunate enough to not only pitch it, but to sell it. And since then, working for just a variety of networks and studios on animated projects and films, playing games my entire life, I always wanted to make a game. All that experience kind of served me well. I was able to take my production experience and kind of parlay that into what I thought I knew about game development, or at the very least animation production. And luckily, through just a lot of patience and the right connections, I was able to hook up with a great team of programmers and artists and actors to create a very weird, as we call it, batshit crazy space shooter called Freedom Finger. That was our first game. There was a challenge and an opportunity in both fronts, creative and technical. I just wanted to have total creative freedom to tell a story, tell a funny story, something that wasn't a kid show, that, could have a little edge to it. If we're gonna do animation, I wanna get the best animator. If we're gonna do 2D art, I want the best illustrator. Travis Millard, my friend who did all the artwork, he's a fantastic artist that no one else could have drawn this. Same with the acting. If we can get Nolan North and John DiMaggio and Bauza and Sam Riegel, let's do it. In terms of the technical execution, that's a concept or game design you can prototype in a matter of hours. One object moving to the right, enemies coming into the left. It's all very basic, but there's also a lot of depth that you can have in that genre. There's ways to innovate on that very simple formula and things that you have to do to make it interesting. The side-scrolling shooter kind of presented itself as the best vehicle for all of those things. The fact that we were successful enough with our first game to make a second, and now a third, and now we're working on our fourth game, I'm just totally humbled and grateful for that opportunity. And that's a feeling that I hope never goes away, to just be like, again, looking at what are the sales this week? People are still playing the game. Like, that blows my mind. It feels like a small miracle every single time.
Tyler, way to go. Jeez. Wow.
The chat was lighting up with who let the pro in here.
Yeah, I saw somebody say, did Danny O'Dwyer accidentally submit a documentary to Doc Lightning here?
There were multiple camera people.
That's the part that blew my mind. Like,
camera cut another camera.
Yeah, audio quality and then multiple camera people. It's like, oh my God. Tyler, very impressive. Yeah, but I love that build up too of like, have I heard of this game? I don't know. They're like, oh, what the Dubs creators. That's wild. I'm curious how that lined up. If they just knew that creator, they just reached out of the blue. And anyway, super impressive, Tyler. Way to go. Thank you for your submission. Okay, here we go.
Of this already.
Yep. Ooh, I like this.
ASMR.
Come on. Who needs TikTok? Come on. Someone's seen Fight Club. Touch all this. Oh, come on, really?
Yeah, fill those cracks in the wood.
Oh my God.
Is this what they were feeding the baby earlier? Oh, yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. It looks so easy.
Yeah. You can do this in under 3 minutes?
It's fun that I still don't know what it's gonna be.
It's a train. Kyle Hilliard, are you looking?
Yes. Posted Kyle.
Wow, Julian, that ruled. God damn, that was satisfying to watch. Like, super smart not to have any music either. Like, I love the confidence of just like, no, you'll want to hear this.
Yeah, no music, no dialogue.
No. What are you going to
Speak
say?
for itself.
Yeah. God, I love that. Way to go. That was Jamush, otherwise known as Tower of Babel. Super impressive. God damn it. I'll never be that cool. Okay.
I moved to San Francisco a year ago. Since then, I've established a long running route around the city. It's Saturday morning. I travel to Forest Hill, where my running route starts. I climb Twin Peaks and see Sutro Tower. I run through the forest, down a staircase, in a botanical garden, past a waterfall, under an overpass. I pause at a place called Portals of the Past. I run across a meadow, past a pond, under a windmill, and along Ocean Beach. I pause at the ruins of Sutro Baths. I run through a cave, along Land's End Trail, past the mansions in Seacliff, along Baker's Beach, up a sand ladder. I see more stairs and trails and fog. Part of the Golden Gate Bridge, under the Golden Gate Bridge. I pause at the bridge. I run to the Palace of Fine Arts, along Pier 39, next to the Sea Lions, past the cruise ship. It's Saturday afternoon. I'm walking along the Embarcadero. My plan is to climb Greenwich Stairs to Coit Tower and end my run. But I'm tired, and my phone has 1% battery now. I order a bubble tea, my phone dies, and I head back to my apartment. I review the footage I've collected. It's good. I want to tell the story of how I feel connected to my running route. But I realize now I don't feel connected to my running route. I connect my running route. I'm just one of many ways my running route is connected. My running route is one path through a web of connection. I am just one path through a web of connection.
Sweet. Come on, man.
I can't even express how much I love that one. I was really appreciating how it's like, oh, he didn't just film himself running. It's like these distinct, beautiful shots of all the places he's running through, and then that like coming back at the end is like part of the thesis of it.
Jesus.
And like, you know, I just like, I've been watching TV long enough. It's like, well, I've seen like probably most of the good shots of San Francisco.
Right.
And it's like, no, here's a whole bunch of stuff that you've like never seen before.
Yeah.
That opening and closing shot was so. I watch so many full movies and never get one shot that beautiful, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Richard Hayes for putting that one together. Bunch of hazy shots. Super impressive, Richard. Thank you for your contributions here. Whew.
An afternoon walk with the luckiest man on earth? Hi, MinnMax. I'm Pat Polk. Wait just a second. There, that's better. I'm here to share with you a weird quirk about myself. You see, I might be one of the luckiest people on planet Earth. Why? Well, I haven't won the lottery or anything like that, and I'm editing this on my phone because my computer broke. I'm lucky because of a weird hidden talent of mine. And no, I'm not talking about Puzzle Fighter, although I am very, very good at Puzzle Fighter.
It's true.
Sorry, Ben.
It's true.
My hidden talent is that I'm really, really good at finding four-leaf clovers. By my estimate, I've probably found around 400 four-leaf clovers in my life, and most of the time I'm not trying to find them. I just see them as I'm walking down the sidewalk.
What?
To demonstrate for you all, I decided to go on a walk on my lunch break and try recording myself finding one. And instead, I found 6 in about a 45-minute span. What's my secret? Honestly, it's probably just that I tend to look down at my feet when I walk. Also, you have to be on the lookout for 2 overlapping clovers that look like one four-leaf clover. That's why I kind of kick them with my feet here. And yes, those are sweet Animal Crossing edition pumas. So, I figure if you're the superstitious type, I might be one of the luckiest people on Earth, if not number 1. Probably, four-leaf clovers aren't quite as rare as most people think. Here, I found 2 that were right next to each other, and looking back at the tape, I think there was another one right in between them to the lower right of the second one that I just picked.
It was right there.
And finally, on the walk back from the park, I found the 6th and final four-leaf clover for the afternoon. So, I started to wonder myself, What is the world record? Maybe I am number one. I'm the most lucky person on Earth. So I did a quick Google, and that's not the case. I am nowhere near the luckiest person on Earth. So that's a bummer. But at least I am really good at looking at my feet as I walk.
Wow, Patrick Paul.
Perfect subject.
Man,
Definitely.
I have looked my entire life, combed through fields of clover. I've never found one. Have you guys?
Maybe
I
once
think
when
I
I was a
found
kid, but it was really
one.
notable.
Man.
And this guy kicked your ass at Puzzle Fighter?
Oh my God. He did the play games with us tier on Patreon twice to play Puzzle Fighter with me. I think it was like, by the end of it was like 67-1. And that was one where he was like showing an example of just how to play poorly. And that was the only time that I beat him. He's like, well, this is what it's like
Big
if I'm really not
asterisk.
trying. Yeah. Way to go, Patrick Polk. Thanks for your support of MinnMax. And woof.
Awesome topic.
Yeah, for sure. All right, here we go.
Is this yours, Ben?
Shut up.
Mussels have this really unique life cycle in which they are an obligate parasite on the gills or fins of fishes. Like most people think of them as like a rock, or when they're walking through a stream, you don't even realize they're there. They are understudied. We're the DNR's mussel program. We are eccentric biologists. Mike Davis is my long-term mentor. He's been working with the DNR since 1987. He is our godfather of freshwater mussels at the DNR. Oh, how can I describe him? I was trying to think about what I can say about Mike. It's his personality, his knowledge, his ability to teach. I never want him to leave. I never want him to retire.
But is he going to?
He is. He retires. I'm talking about your retirement and how I'm gonna not enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm obscure. And most people don't even know what a mussel is, let alone anything about them. They look like a rock with goo inside, was one guy described it to me. But they're definitely not that.
How did you get into mussels?
From Mike.
I got asked to be a chaperone on a field trip for high school students to Belize.
And he mentioned to one of my best friends and I, like, we hire divers like you. If you want to go out on the Mississippi and find clams all summer, well, yeah, we'll take a summer job, especially if it involves diving, sunshine, mussels, rivers, beautiful Minnesota summers. You can't beat them.
The mussels is the weird word in there.
Yeah.
Everything else people understand, and you're like, and it had mussels in it.
We'll give these other young people a chance to take over.
It's a passion project.
It is. For me, it wasn't a job, it was a mission. So the mussels are coming back in the metro Mississippi. I mean, it went from a dead zone to a endangered species enclave, really. I mean, they're doing great.
It's a program that is a complete full circle. We've done the surveys, we've done the host research, we've raised the mussels, and now we're restoring them. This is what Mike created. When mussels are juveniles, they produce this byssus, which is almost the same as like a spider web.
I would tether them into the river so they don't wash away. So it's a survival
Use
thing.
that. Tether them into the river.
Yeah.
But they're just so cute. You have to see them from this side.
You need to purge the hose a little first.
Nah.
Things are getting rearranged all the time. I'm getting behind on that.
Mussel species are changing names.
Quadrula metanevra is now Theloderma metanevra.
Rather than me looking at a computer and trying to dig through data, I just ask Mike. And he'll say, oh, I remember this site from 1987.
Yeah, probably.
It's like a book. You don't even have, it's like, hey Siri, hey Mike, I have a question.
I'm quicker than Siri.
And this is why he's going to be missed.
Yeah, so those things are useful to have, that all gets lost when people disappear,
Well, hey, I think we got it, unless there's anything else either of you are dying to say.
I'm not dying for anything. I'm trying not to die. What are you talking about? Yeah. Well, anyway.
Hey, there you go, everybody.
All right.
Very good.
I didn't really care for that one, but the rest were really great.
Look, I get it. There's got to be one stinker in every batch. I fully understand that.
I love that. I loved her calling the mussels cute.
There's a lot of that. Yeah. Believe it or not, there was a lot that hit the cutting room floor.
So how did you encounter the story, Ben?
So my wife was like, hey, you just need to plan a weekend trip anywhere. I can't plan it. I just need you to plan this fully. Choose some place to go. So like Austin, Minnesota, like the small town in southern Minnesota. So we went there, went to the Spam Museum and stuff, which I talked about on the podcast. And then at their nature center, they're like, hey, 1 p.m. we have a lecture on mussels. I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. And so we went to that, and there were like 4 other people there, and then it was this Madeline lady giving the presentation for like an hour. And I was like, this is fascinating. I've never thought about muscles, but I love this. Just that I'm such a sucker for that idea of like, yeah, no one cared about them until like the last 20 years, and we start researching and realizing like, we don't know how they procreate. Like, we just have no idea about like basics and what these freaks are up to. And then she mentioned that that her mentor who got her into muscles was retiring at the end of May. And I was like, oh God, that's going to be good. I got to go there and get like his retirement speech and all that stuff. And it's a long, complicated thing. But so then that was just a weird day trip of going down and just lining up an interview with the 2 of them. And they were very, very sweet to invite me into the DNR just to talk to them about muscles. And Mike seemed, it's funny, like after we got done filming, he's like, so who, are you with Hormel, the company down in Austin, Minnesota? They're like, what is this? I was like, no, it's like a video game site. And then he's like, and he looks at me, he's like, Maddie, we just spent all day for a video game site? Like, he was so confused and annoyed. It's like, oh, no, people will watch it though, I swear, I don't know.
Here for 8 more days.
Time is precious. These muscles aren't going to count themselves. All right. Yeah, so I'll make a longer version of that to put up on MinnMax's YouTube channel and just confuse people out of the blue with all that. But hey, round of applause for everybody who submitted a Doc Lightning thing here. Unbelievable.
So fun.
Unbelievable. Super, super impressive. It's always a scary, weird thing to jump into something like this. I mean, it could have been 3 submissions with people just monologuing their attempt at a speed run in a game or something, you know? So I love just the wild variety from everybody who submitted a doc.
There were like 4 video games mentioned in an hour and a half.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm surprised.
Jacob, what'd you learn, man?
Oh, man. I mean, it's like, what did I learn? It warms my heart so much to see a child and an adult making a video game together.
Yeah, that was a big one.
You know, I think my favorite word just kind of experiential, the one of just like footage around Japan.
Yeah. Truly mind-blowing stuff. Thank you to everybody who's in the community, who supported the community, who is interested in supporting independent games media, jumping in there at patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's. This was open to everybody at any tier. So if we do it in the future, you're always welcome to jump in and make something like it. I mean, this was so fun. I could see you doing it again, but we'll see what the future holds. But man, Rank Suze says I cried like 3 times. Yeah, I didn't expect that. It's really unbelievable. So everybody who submitted a doc, stay tuned. I'll send you a message with a bunch of options for free games. There's some good stuff in that pile of games too. So I hope you all enjoy that. But yeah, truly, truly humbling. You know, I said it before, but you know, the place like MinnMax, hopefully we can carve out a space that's a little bit different compared to other gaming outlets. Otherwise, what's the point of being independent? And I feel like this really showed off what's special about this community. And yeah, so thank you to everybody for going above and beyond. And thanks also, if you didn't make a doc, thanks for being so nice in the Twitch chat and supporting everybody who did. It's unbelievable. All right, that's it, Leo. Any other wise words, man?
It was just fantastic seeing, like, you know, from raising a child to just like a fun fact about your neighborhood, one of those being like arguably the most important thing you'll do in your life.
Right.
But like, they kind of are equally fascinating in a way, like equally cool peeks into someone's life.
Yeah.
And to peek into so many people's lives.
Yep. Just a nice, tasteful peek. Thanks so much, everybody, for spreading the word about Doc Lighting. Thank you to my friend Jesse, otherwise known as Empty Maracas on Instagram, who made the art for Doc Lightning and the whole thing. Like, yeah, I've wanted to do this, I mean, honestly, for like 5 years. I wanted to do it back at Game Informer. It's like, oh, it'd be cool to do a short documentary film festival thing. So thank you for giving us an outlet where all that's possible. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you in the future. Thanks for supporting MinnMax. Goodbye. You've seen the headlines. You know that the media landscape is consolidating. Having truly independent games media is more important than ever. MinnMax can exist independently as a place about games, friends, and getting better, but we need your help. The good news is that it's easy. Just click on that subscribe button or unlock a mountain of benefits by going to patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's. Thanks so much, everybody.